Okay, so good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I am hopefully now sharing the right screen. Things disappear
I can
when
see
I move
the
around.
Friday
Just
Tech
the
Focus
generic,
slides.
perfect. Okay, so hope you're all doing well. This is our regularly scheduled Friday Tech Focus, which is, of course, never really completely regularly scheduled. Oh, I have to do a little bit more shifting on my end, sorry. I can't see everything I need to see. So, as I'm sure you've noticed, our theme for this year is project management. Asana is my contribution to that. It's a tool to help with that. For my Friday Tech Focus regulars, you know I've covered many versions of the basic to-do list. In fact, you probably just heard Sam and I talking about it some more while we were ready to start. Asana takes that up a big notch. It's a web and mobile application designed to help teams organize, track, and manage their work. In one tool, teams can create projects, assign work to teammates, specify deadlines, and communicate about tasks. It also includes reporting tools, file attachments, calendars, and more. It puts an emphasis on collaboration and productivity. As usual, it's available in freemium pricing, so the more you pay, the more features you get. Eligible nonprofits, including public libraries, can receive a 50% discount on Asana Premium or Asana Business. It's available on TechSoup, so if you play with it and you like it and you feel like you need more, you can probably afford it. But as always, I'll be using the free version. So Asana organizations are based around a shared company email address. So as you invite teammates or get invited, you will join the same domain. So if you're using something generic like a Gmail account, you won't be able to create at that level. You'll be limited to Workspaces. You'll be able to do more with this if you have a unique domain for your library email address. So your plow addresses, for example. If you don't, you can still do a lot with a workspace. This chart is trying to explain the difference between organizations and workspaces. I feel like I'm getting into the weeds with it. Think of workspaces as subsets under organizations if you're using a work domain. If not, workspaces are your top level. Teams are your groups of people. An organization can create multiple teams, but everything I'm going to do today to demonstrate is being done in a workspace. You'll see something like this when you log in the first time without that blowout on the side, of course. You'll probably want to take a look at your profile settings first, which is where I'm showing you how to get. They can be reached by clicking on the default image in the upper right corner. You see a little tiny picture of me. The list you'll see here, neighbors, personal projects, etc., are all things I've created because I have an organization level address. I've been playing with this stuff for a long time, off and on. Obviously, since there's something there called neighbors, and that's been gone for a long time. That's all archived now, but it's there if I need to use it for examples. So in the settings, it's pretty basic stuff. More about you and how you'd like to be notified. This is one of the things I like, though. You have your choice of how to be notified. So this is an example of an email notification that was generated when someone on my team completed a task. This gets a little more interesting. You can create tasks and conversations in Asana by sending an email to a set address. It's kind of a handy way to deal with emails that happen to be part of the project you're working on. You just forward them to Asana, they get added where you tell them to default add, and then when you log in later, you can do whatever else needs to be done with them. There are a few things you can do with the appearance to make it look like you'd like it to, showing things like row numbers or making it more compact, whatever works for you. Asana can be connected to a few other apps, and there are some experimental features you can enable if you like. Those are always changing depending on what the developers are working on. These integrations with apps include things like connecting to your online storage, your email, Slack, Zapier, if this then that, and many other things. I'm not going to get into those today. Back to your main view. Notice that most of your navigation is in the bar on the left side. Tasks, inbox, and teams are going to be relative to which workspace you're looking at, if you have more than one set up. It's so flexible, it can be kind of intimidating, kind of like the proverbial blank sheet of paper. Play with it until you're able to figure out what's going to work for you. There are also some templates that you can use to get you started. They are at asana.com/templates. Because, of course, looking at somebody else's work, it frequently helps get things started. Projects are how you organize and plan all of the tasks related to a specific initiative, goal, or big piece of work. They could be deadline bound, ongoing, or something that repeats. Endless possibilities there. Asana gives you multiple ways to view your project so that you can use whatever works the best for you. So if you prefer lists, you can use a list. If you prefer a Kanban style board, you can do that. And you'll see this is the same strategic plan, which is just something I pulled out of the air, so don't be copying any of this stuff. Or if you want to see it on a calendar, you can see it on a calendar. It's not a great view or example for this because all of my dates on that plan are out in the future. But you pick the one that works best for you. Know that you don't have to stick with it. You can switch back and forth between views as needed. Conversations and uploaded files are available under the More link here. Those features are all available in the free version. Unfortunately, Timeline, which you'll see listed here, is in one of the subscription packages only. That's a Gantt chart that I think could be really useful in planning your time on things, but I'm not willing to pay for it. Forms are another premium feature. They allow you to create forms so that you can receive work requests. This drop-down menu is available from every view you're looking at, and I really appreciate the consistency on that. It's quick and easy. You know exactly where to go look for doing these things, no matter which view you're using. From the list view, it's just click Add and start typing. Add a section by clicking on that drop-down, and you can add a section header. For all views, you can click on the plus sign and get started that way. Tasks are at the heart of Asana. The platform is essentially designed to help managers assign tasks and employees to track work to be done. Each task can have subtasks, attachments, due dates, assigned team members, and other custom fields. Helpfully, comment threads allow everyone involved in a specific task to communicate over Asana. Everything, including the comments discussion, is archived when a task is marked as completed. So there's a searchable work history for each project. Okay, so I'm going to step out of the PowerPoint box right now and go to a live demo. Were there any questions? Because I couldn't see the chat while I was doing that.
No questions as of yet. If folks have them, feel free to drop them in anytime and we'll address them as we go.
Oop. Okay, so this is what it looks like live. And this is the same strategic plan that we were looking at. Switch between list, board, calendar. Of course, if you click on something like Timeline, it's going to say, hey, you can have this if you want to pay for it. Now, if I want to switch over here to a different project, it's all right over here. Click on my tasks, and it will give me a quick list of everything that's been assigned to me. Inbox, and you can see messages relative to what people are doing as things have been completed or changed or what have you. It's all there. I picked the strategic plan as an example because I thought that was something that might speak to you as a way to use this. It would be a good way to put everything in one place and then being able to track how it's going. That's all it takes to create a task. Click on Add Task and start typing. Now, there's much more that you can set up. These would be the details on that. So you can assign it to someone, create due dates, put in a description, and add subtasks that can have their own assigned person, their own due dates, and notes. So you can get pretty deep with this if you want to. Put that away. This new hire checklist is something I actually pulled out of their templates. I thought that might be something it's, I like to have with repeating things that I don't do very often. I'll set up a list and I'll pull it out and copy it when I need it. This would create that sort of thing for you, just to show you some of the possibilities.
Eunice, well,
Yes.
we do have one question about creating accounts here.
Yes.
It's from Mara. If you have one email, you mentioned it can't be Gmail. Is that correct?
I didn't say it can't be Gmail. I just said a generic email like that is not going to get you an organization level account. You can still use it, but you won't have that high of access. You'll be able to create workspaces and have teams and share things, but obviously .gmail.com is going to get lots and lots of people, where what I've set up here is just people who have iowa.gov addresses. And in fact, I seem to, if I look around, I start seeing references to other things that aren't things that I'd set up.
So with a domain specific email address, you're sort of automatically lumped into a team with anyone else who has that same email address.
Well, not really. I can see that there are other things there, but I'm not part of them. But I see on my list of projects just a generic iowa.gov. I did not create that.
Gotcha.
And I've honestly stayed away from it because I don't think I would get into anybody's stuff, but I want to be sure. So I'm just using my own stuff. But if you had, for example, a plow email address, so it was whatever library.lib.ia.us, you would have your own domain. In fact, when I first created this, I was using the .lib.ia.us addresses that the state library staff used to have. So it doesn't mean you can't do it. It's just at a different level.
There's a kind of follow-up one.
Sure.
Should you use your library email account? We have it with the local phone company.
I don't think it would probably be a problem, but try it. And if it looks like it's not going to work, or if it gets you into other things, again, I can't see other people's stuff. I just see that that other organization exists. I suppose I can, okay, let's see what happens. Click on that, it's going to open another tab. And there are things here. I can see that there are members but I'm not automatically part of them. I can request to join. If they turn me down, I wouldn't be able to get in. Presumably someone there could request to join one of my groups, and I could say, no, you're not really part of this. So I would say using something generic wouldn't be a problem. People are not going to automatically be able to get into whatever you set up. They would have to ask for permission.
And then a follow-up,
Sure.
if a library is currently using a Gmail address, if they wanted to get a lib.ia.us address, that they could get that set up by their LRT, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so contact your LRT if you have questions about that.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so you can mark a plan or a particular project as a favorite, or it will eventually just, if that's the one you're using the most, show up on the favorites list. The Asana Basics training is something really nice. It's something that creates, that you can add to your setup, and it will give you, do this, do that, so that you play with the different pieces and you can see how it works. That's basically what I had on that I wanted to do with the live. So I'm going to go back to the presentation here quickly.